outside of you and today? Who's the second favorite person in the world?
Outside today? What do you mean?
Meaning not counting today, but who's your favorite person in the world? Not counting.
No, he's really my best friend.
She is one of the biggest singers. She's now an actress. She's an entrepreneur, soon to be a billionaire. And my bestie, known by one name, Bleona. Okay, now wait a minute. It's Bleona. Now, when you think of one-name people, you think of Madonna. This one was known as the Madonna of Albania.
Right. Well, it's true.
How is
my
that?
best friend.
How did that come about?
Hey, you introduced me for American public who doesn't know me yet. You could also tell he's my best friend, right? He said I'm a billionaire, which may God listen to you.
Soon to be
may
billionaire.
God listen to you. And your word, the way you introduced me. So far, I'm a Bleonaire. I'm not a billionaire.
Exactly. So she's getting there.
We need to talk about the Bleonaire name.
Yes.
How it came as an idea.
Yes.
I had this friend in France. The owner used to be the owner of Balmain, Alexandre. And
that guy.
It was the time when I used to go to all the high fashion shows.
Hey, I go there.
Anyway, so Alexandre said, you were so crazy and you were so authentic in your own self. I was contemplating, I just got in America. I was contemplating to get my own car back then. And of course I wanted a gold car down. I was the one who had a gold car.
Okay.
So I was contemplating to buy my first car in America, but of course I wanted it gold. And Alex said, Bleo, you're like Batman. You have to have your own car.
Stay calm. Yeah.
Why don't we call your car Bleonaire, your gold car?
That's great.
So it actually started as a joke from a guy who knows branding very well.
Yes.
So part of us being friends and joking around, I was like, actually, it might be a good idea to do some branding for myself and call my fans Bleonairres, because all my fans are the people who work hard and they play hard. So might as well give the idea to my fans that in order for you to have a great life, you have to work very, very hard. So the whole thing makes sense to call them Bleonairres.
Yes.
We're not billionaires yet.
Not yet.
But we're Bleonairres, meaning we're working hard to get there. So far, we're Bleonairres on the way to being billionaires.
This is a very select group. This group of Bleonairres, they work hard and they play hard.
But they're independent people. They don't expect other people to handle.
You started off very young. How old were you when you first got a taste?
I started when I was 5 years old. In the House of Pionieri, which is the equivalent of Disney.
Oh my God, that's great. Yeah.
I did that for probably 4 or 5 years until I was 10 years old.
Wow,
and I was the kid to sing and to give flowers, let's say, to the president when it came to our town, to like the whole big shots.
Yeah.
So basically, it started at a very young age when I started hanging out with big shots.
Oh, you mean like this person right here? That's you right there. Isn't that crazy?
Anyways, so I started at the Disney Club. Is it called Disney Club in America? What is it called?
Yeah, I think it's something like that. Like Disney. Yeah, maybe it's Disney.
Where the kids go and sign up for
everyone knows it. Everyone but me knows exactly the name of it. Yes.
So I did that until I was 10. Then Albania came out from communism to democracy. So it was like a complete craziness in the whole country. The system changed. So people were afraid for their lives, and it was like a completely different, like everybody basically came out of jail, went to the government, everybody from the government went to jail. So it was like very, very crazy times for the Albanian people in the 90s. Think Romania when they came out of communism. Albania, like in Romania, people died under Ceausescu.
Oh, wow.
Meanwhile, in Albania, at least we didn't have dead people, but it was really chaotic times at the time.
Okay, wow. But you were already very successful. You were like...
But I was a child, and they're like, you're going to grow up one day, and you're going to see that this profession is
going
to keep up with you for the rest of your life.
Right.
So we need you to have a safe school. So basically, I was shoved in a finance school.
Finance school?
Yeah, for economy.
Okay, and I can see that though. You have a good business sense.
So my high school was finance, and basically it's great because now that I actually deal with money and with the economy, a good idea of what the finances are, and I still continue to like get whatever it comes, we spend double, so we have to.
Speaking of that, now aren't you also redoing some of your songs into music videos?
So I was gonna get there. So I still have a school every afternoon, and I went to the theater of the city, which is like equivalent to Broadway here.
Yeah.
So I just went there. I started knocking on the door. I'm like, just give me a chance. Let me sing this song. I was 13 at this point. 2 years I had to stop. 1993, I went to the Broadway, which was the Scampa Theater, which was the city where I used to live back then with my family. They lent me a role, and they're like, okay, we have this concert. You have to start singing.
Wow. Twist my arm.
And back then it was all about Mariah Carey and Without
yeah.
You and whatever.
Me,
so
yeah.
I actually remember my first song ever on that show was Without You of Mariah Carey. And back then Albania was not a country that you could sing that song and stop when you can, like we do it these days in a recording studio that you sing, you stop if you don't like it, and then you can take it.
Oh, right. You got to just go.
They made me do the freaking song 20 times because I had like a breakage, like, I can't live.
Right. Wow.
I can't live. Right here, my voice was breaking. They're like, again, do it from the beginning. Now that I know how a singer really sings in the studio, I can guarantee you Mariah Carey itself did not do that song all in one day.
Oh, that's why you're doing the videos again.
No.
Oh.
I had they landed me a role. I was singing the Mariah Carey song.
Yes.
And then I got really, really lucky because the singer who was on her 40s at the time, she got sick. So she couldn't be on the show.
Did she get sick on her own or from you?
No.
Okay,
no,
just checking.
Come on. I was a child. Now I know better. She got sick and then they gave me actually the main, because I was just going to sing one song. Right, yeah. And now they gave me the whole main show. They're like, you have 2 days to learn all these records.
Wow.
That's what we're doing. I have an opening show with my mom and dad, and I'm 13. And my mom and dad had no clue what's happening. They think I'm in school all afternoon. And then I go to my mom and dad and I give them 2 tickets and I'm like, come see me tonight at the show. They're like,
they have nothing to do. Can you stop by? I'll be on the stage.
They're like, wait, what are you doing one more time? I'm like, look, there's a show in the theater today. I'm singing. So let's do this. So my parents were obviously as shocked as they could be. And this is how I started my career. I remember with the first money that I got from the salary of the concert, I bought my mom bottom pants and a new washing machine.
Wow. So again, things to feed you and to wash your clothes. Smart. I like how you're thinking back then. That's the economics training you got.
Yeah, because I had to say thank you to my parents for allowing me to do this.
Yes.
And I was very grateful. And basically since 13,
you've been the head of the household.
The main person providing for my family since then. And 13. It doesn't stop to this day.
Yeah, one day I'm going to be that provider for my family. I'm not there yet.
You are. Come on, don't do that. Don't do that. Everybody should do that for their families. A year after I did the show, then the director of the theater goes to my father and goes like, look, she actually has a real talent. We have to send her to the National Festival, which is equivalent to the Grammys. Wow. So they sent me to the festival. And I remember being terrified from all the lights and the huge stage at 14 years old. Exactly.
Wow, look at that.
And then at 15, it was the second edition of the festival, like the year after. And I wanted to do something not crazy, but like something that I could be noticed on.
Yes.
And I had this song called Set Me Be Free. And I decided to wear these very short pants. Very short patent leather blue pants.
Wow.
And I wore that in the rehearsing. The producer's like, hello, you, what's your name again? Yeah, no, absolutely not. You're not doing that. Like she talks from the bus, right? You know how to do it. And I was like, okay, perfect. Sorry about that. So then, of course, that I'm going to do that. And it's a live broadcast. And I didn't know how to get around it. And I'm basically a nobody. And I cannot just undo their word. So I go and I buy this black
to put over you.
To put over me. And because I was a nobody would notice me anyway until I got on stage. So I got on stage with this thing. And then in the moment when I go to the chorus, Set Me Be Free, which again, I have that footage for you.
Wow.
I take this black thing off, which was perfect for the interpretation of the song because it was said it's called Set Me Be Free. So in the moment when I go to like the chorus, I do this thing, Set Me Be Free, and then it's a scandal.
Oh, there's the Madonna of Albania.
And then the next day, I basically became famous overnight in the world of real pop stars because I was just a child singing, right?
Before.
After that, the rest is history. Then I did all the political campaigns for the
you actually had politicians hired. You helped them. You stumped for them. You sang for them.
I did the political campaign for back then for the President of Albania. I decided to come to America because I was really lucky because Albanians they live abroad. After doing basically 80 concerts a year in Western Europe from year 2000 to 2004.
Montenegro, all those, you were all over there.
Yeah, Montenegro and Balkans, of course. But I'm talking like London, Greece, Italy, Germany, Switzerland, all that.
Wow.
Then it was my first American tour.
Okay.
So I come to sing in America in Webster Hall.
Where's Webster Hall again? In New York.
Webster Hall is in New York.
Okay.
And I had a concert in New York, a concert in Chicago, and a concert in Detroit, because in Detroit is like
big Albanians.
the biggest
Albanians.
community. My first concert was in Webster Hall, though. I land in the airport, I enter the Tri-Borough Bridge, and I see New York.
Yes.
And I'm like,
and you're like,
I'm
wait a
not
minute.
Wow. And this is what I need to do with my life. So I finished the concert that day.
Right.
Literally the day after, I get my magazine covers. I go to like an immigration lawyer. I'm like, here, get me a green card.
This is a video I took of some of the magazine covers at her house. Right here. Look at this. Okay.
Anyway, so I get these guys and I'm like, get me a green card. Long story longer. It took me 7 years to get my green card. Jeez. That I could be allowed to work in America properly because I couldn't work. Then in 2011, the minute I got my fresh passport out of oven, I came to LA and I said, I belong here and I am an independent artist and I'm going to show the world that a small girl coming from a country that offers zero opportunity can make it by herself in America, outside of the system, on her own and without backup.
Wow.
That's my story. And then I met you. And then we became friends.
And then, yes.
And then you know the rest.
I know everything else. You guys don't. I know. So let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
Let's say you're driving in LA, for example. If we pull up between cars, driving, and there's six cars.
I didn't realize I'm on a driving course.
You're driving. You're on the street.
Am I supposed to get the California
license?
Yes.
Didn't you take a test?
I did. And let me tell you this.
Did you pass?
I have the best picture on my driving license because the guys were so good. He let me take it 5 times.
That's your picture. Fabulous. Did you pass the test?
What do you think?
I don't think you did.
They did it for me. They're like, let me help you. I'm a foreigner. We can say this. I did pass the test and I'm an excellent driver. Okay.
And
we love the police. And
she loves
have
the police.
To thank you everybody for their own understanding when I'm late to go to the studio.
Yes.
That's what we do.
She oftentimes is
Excuse
late.
me.
You've topped out in the music world, and now you still come back into. I think you should do more of it. You're like, you're kind of there.
Well, when I landed in America,
yes,
like the Prince of Zamunda, I had no idea what was happening in this country. And right in the moment when I thought that I knew Hollywood,
yes,
obviously I didn't. I had to deal here with the whole deception of the music industry, and all the flakiness that comes with the territory of Hollywood
music.
So I had to learn the hard way. I had a reality show back in 2014.
Was that called Euros of Hollywood?
Yeah.
Tell us about that.
So, no.
You don't even need me here. You do all my questions for me. I'm just sitting here. And by the way, it's a podcast. It's a dialogue, not a monologue.
Oh, well.
But continue, please. Euros of Hollywood. Right? I know who I invited.
Okay.
Euros of Hollywood. Tell me about it.
I had this reality show called Euros of Hollywood. And at the same time, I was in studio with Timbaland doing my first EP in English. So in my mind, I'm thinking, and again, this is when social media was not big. So when I would say to people, I do this concert and that concert and that concert, they would not even have a way how to check that. So I ended up in the studio with Timbaland in 2011.
Wow,
end of 2011. He gave me one record. So I get this record. I remixed it because I didn't know what to do with it. And then I get his official DJ Freestyle, Steve, and one of his rappers signed to him at the time, Brasco. And I go on tour in Albania. And then on the first concert, they have 70,000 people. But, how do you go to a Timbaland and be like, oh, I'm big?
Yeah,
you can't.
No,
so you have to be humble and you'd be like, would you consider to give me a record? And he did. And I did this tour. And after the tour, I came back and I landed this reality show called Euros of Hollywood. And in my mind, I was like, okay, well, now I have a marketing platform in America. Instead of being introduced with some songs from back home, which nobody will understand the language, for most of them, visually, I didn't have control what the song was because it was a different mentality. It was like, here's your song, that's what you're singing, right?
Right.
I said, okay, let me delete everything from internet. Let me get this reality show. Let me have one song out, which was Pass Out, the song that I went on tour with.
Yep.
Let me have this marketing platform. And once I have a marketing platform, I can put up the EP of Timbaland. And this is how I'm going to get introduced to the American public. Oh. And then we can go back in time for them to see for real who I am and where I came from.
Yes.
But I wanted a real marketing platform to be able to tell my story. So at this point, I tell everybody on my team, you're fired. I'm like, reset button. Let's go back to Albania. Let's reset and see what I'm going to do. And for America, I'm just going to release these songs independently.
Right.
Until I actually get a real team to get me to the next level.
Yes.
So because now we are in the social media time, which was 2015-ish, right? Yeah. I go back in Albania. I'm a judge on X Factor. Now I'm dealing with TV to getting like the little guys who were like, let's say 7 years at the time when I left, but now they're 15 and they're all using social media.
Yeah.
So I did the X Factor stuff. I was a judge on X Factor.
Yeah, X Factor in Albania.
Yes.
That's great. She was the one of the judges on that.
Simultaneously, in America, I kept releasing everything independently.
Yeah.
And then my first single called Take You Over goes on number 3 on the charts.
The Billboard chart.
The dance charts, yeah.
Yeah.
Which is not a big deal for whoever
I think
has
it's
a
a big
huge
deal.
team. But for me,
But
being
for
by
you,
myself,
yes.
releasing this shit from Albania, I'm like, okay, this shit's working. I released
Impressive.
Take You Over by myself. I
Yeah.
started doing more music, more videos.
Yeah.
And then in 2019, while I was simultaneously doing TV, so I was back home doing TV and releasing these songs simultaneously, independently in America.
Yeah.
And then in 2019, I got number 1 in the dance charts with I Don't Need Your Love, produced by Federico Vinver, which is an amazing, amazing producer, which I
Wow.
really, really love him very much. He's now signed to Timbaland, ironically.
Wow.
It's very funny. Vanity Fair Red Carpet.
What were you wearing at the Vanity Fair Red Carpet?
Well,
Can
okay.
I show a picture of it?
Hold on.
It's this.
Okay,
This
perfect.
is what she actually wore.
Okay, so let's talk about the Vanity Fair. So I go to the Vanity Fair carpet, and literally the internet breaks the day after, saying, "What does she think she is? She needs attention." I'm like, I need attention. Like, this was the first for me that I need attention. I'm like, first of all, I get attention everywhere I go.
You
period.
demand attention.
I don't need attention. Number 1. Number 2, if a Lady Gaga or if a Kim Kardashian would wear the same exact dress, everybody would have raved
Right.
how great they look. So I'm like, all right, this is a double standard. Not cool. Excuse me, I have to say the truth here.
Can I show the picture of someone who wore the same thing that you wore?
Yes,
Do you have
yes,
it?
yes.
It's
I'll
right
send it.
here. Look at
So-
this. Who wore it better?
So
This one.
I am putting my fingers on myself, pointing the finger at myself. What have
Yeah.
I done for these people to get this perception? So at this point, of course, an English or American journalist is going to make the point, she needs attention.
Right.
Because I am the one who deleted my history from internet.
Right.
And I left
right.
all the, and I'm talking like 50, 60 million views back in 2013 I had per record. So
Wow.
it's not like, these
Wow.
numbers are good now. Imagine how they were back in
Oh my
2013.
God. Yeah, I can imagine.
So I'm like, okay, now I get it. That's why people are getting this point of me.
Yes.
So while simultaneously I'm merging my career to also do movies because I can be tralala forever or
Yes,
pop star forever.
yes.
I'm thinking, okay, so let me bring back my old Albanian catalog, the songs
Yeah.
that actually made me famous, but with the standard that I have now as an artist, like in the
Yes.
2023 production. I'm going to put them out in 2 visual albums, like Lemonade Part 1 and Part 2, like Beyonce did.
Oh.
And that's going to reestablish my history that I came from this road. I didn't
Yes.
necessarily was born overnight, and success is not a thing that happens overnight. This is for all the new generation who actually needs to understand that things are not that easy. So basically, now that I'm going to reestablish the road where I came from,
Yes.
together with the English records that I have already online, the new EP in English, produced by Timbaland, as we said, and the movies to whatever they're going to hit Netflix in a couple of years, I think American people will find out exactly who I am, and then they'll have a clear idea of my history, where I came from, and
Is it true you know about half of the world's billionaires?
well, I do have a very important phone book.
You have an extremely important phone book. Like, you are so connected in the world, not
Well,
just
I've done
the
a lot
US,
of
the
private
world.
parties for a bunch of them.
Yes,
in
you do
Europe.
private parties for like
Yeah.
big people, like, high political figures and stuff. People
But
call you.
I like to have an important phone book because
How does one
tell
amass
me-
that phone book?
Tell me who you stay with. I tell you who you are. Your peers in your life are very important.
You surround yourself with the
I could've-
finest of people,
Well, I like to have the name on the list of all the parties.
not
I
the
have
plus
to-
one. Your
I'm
name.
not the plus one.
Right.
I need to be Bleona plus whoever I decide to bring with. And it's very important for me to be independent.
Yes.
It feels so much better than being a plus one and being in somebody else's schedule.
Yes. And I want to say thank you
And
for
by
letting
any
me be
means-
your plus one a lot of
You're
times.
different.
Yeah,
You're my best friend. I could easily marry a rich guy and be his plus one and have him pay for everything, and I would not have it so hard the way that I've chose to have it.
I keep telling
When
you,
I
marry
actually
me, but
produce,
you know.
direct, control
do it.
freak, edit, color correct. I do everything
Yes.
myself
Yes.
until I get that final product for the public out there. And it's frustrating, but at the end of the day, it's very rewarding.
Yeah.
To be an independent person and be
Yes.
your own boss. And I think a lot of girls, they need to learn how to be on their own, and they need to be feeling whole in their own, because you cannot expect somebody else to give you the happiness. You need to be whole.
Have you
in
been to
your
LA
own
very often?
and be a
Have you been here
very
long?
happy person in order to attract the happy people next to you. With that being said,
Yes.
I do want to have a family.
Give me like a couple things you look for in a man.
Tall,
Yeah, tall, intelligent, good looks.
intelligence, great looking, possibly blue eyes.
Blue eyes. Try to get that gene.
Virgo.
You want a Virgo?
I have to have a Virgo.
You never said this before. I'm a Virgo.
Please,
You never.
No, Aries is please.
Wow, it's hilarious.
This is it's optional, but if they can be a Virgo or a Taurus, I'm a Taurus, it's fine. So
hilarious.
This is my plan Z scenario.
Yes.
I'm still not doing it.
Right.
I'm doing it only if I cannot find the real
Okay.
love of my life that I would decide to have as children. Now, a lot of people, they're like, why don't you just like find a good looking guy and do it like that?
Yes.
But then we live in a world where you go to a designer and you control freak your dress and how the design of your dress is going to be for that one red carpet look. And then the day after that red carpet, you're going to throw the dress in the garbage. Okay. Meanwhile, for a child, there's going to be a human being who's going to be with you for the rest of their life.
A little different.
You little different. The first idiot that comes your way and you have a child, I don't understand this mentality.
I don't either.
So with that being said, I'm customizing my kid by the book to what it needs to be.
Okay, good to know. I have two last questions. Okay, I'm glad we know what the criteria is for the kid. Number one, back in 1976 in the U.S., there was a actress named Farrah Fawcett.
Oh yeah, she's beautiful.
She's beautiful, and she had this red swimsuit on, and it was the number one
with the ski accident.
No, it was the biggest poster in American history. 1 out of every 16 people had that poster in their house.
16 people?
1 out of every 16 in the whole U.S. Almost every man in Albania had your picture on the wall. So you had more than Farrah Fawcett.
Every man?
Yeah.
And most of the girls.
Okay.
Now I haven't count because we don't have statistics in Albania.
Right.
But I'm good on having people having my poster in their bedroom.
So you had more people in Albania. I want people to understand this. More people in Albania had your picture on their wall, your poster on their wall, than in the height of Farrah Fawcett's famous red swimsuit in the 70s, where she had 12 million people had bought that. You have more than that, basically, compared to your country.
Well, yeah, and my fans are really, really, really
you have great
loyal fans.
You really do.
And I think instead of being a big airhead, oh, look at me, let's talk about me,
never you.
It comes with the territory of being a pop singer. Yes. I draw attention to wherever I go because it's from God. Put it this way. For me as an entertainer to draw attention. So people having my poster has, of course, it shows the success of my persona in stage of who I am. Yeah. But I don't want that to get to my head and be like, let's compare with this and let's compare with that. Because I don't want to compare with anybody else. I am the first on my own lane. Yes. And that is what I want to keep doing with my life.
Outside of today, who is your favorite person in the world?
Me.
Outside of you and today, who's the second favorite person in the world?
Outside today? What do you mean?
Meaning not counting today, but who's your favorite person in the world? Not counting.
No, he's really is my best friend. Can I play you something? Because it's actually very funny.
I was about to say goodbye to everybody, but do it right now.
American people, they don't really realize until they realize, right?
Okay, so either thanks everybody right now, we're going to play this now, or we're going to play it right now.
I have to play you this because it's actually really
Is it right now? Because we're trying to end the show here.
There is this girl who just met me here. Oh, hi, I'm artist, whatever. We became friends. Now hear this out.
Okay.
Bleona, hi. I have an Albanian day today in New York. I have an Albanian hostess in a hotel. I have Albanian guys around me in a club right now. And I always try to get away from them. I'm like, by the way, I know Bleona, and everybody knows you. They say you're so much bigger than Beyonce in Albania. So,
that is so true.
I'm so proud of me to know you.
She's like, I'm so proud of you.
So proud of you. But this is true. Every Albanian in the world, if you say Bleona, they know her.
No.
And on that, I can't end the podcast.
Is the American people, how they react when they actually hear this.
This is so true. By the way, I witnessed this
goodbye,
for
everybody.
so long. I witnessed it for so long. You're ending my podcast. By the way, I've seen this so many times. Like people, if I say the word, anybody Albanian, any tangential connection, they all know Bleona. And if they don't, I've yet to meet one who does not know her.
If they don't own a TV, which is pretty possible these days not to have
Which is pretty possible. Anyway, and on that, everybody, thank you so much for my bestie. Oh, we're shaking hands. Oh, thank you. Okay.
Well, please, can we be cordial?
We're very cordial. We're very cordial.
Thank you so much, everybody.
Thank you, everybody. The entrepreneur, the musician, the singer, the actress, one of my favorite people in the world, Bleona.
Let's go. We're done.